Hey there, Lionesses. This is Bobby Carlton. I'm the publisher and editor-in-chief of Lioness magazine, as well as the founder of Innovation Women. Today, I'm talking with Julia Rodgers and Sarabeth Jaffe. They are the team behind HelloPrenup. So they are disrupting divorce and changing the way that we all think about marriage prep and money. So thank you to both of us for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. It's an incredibly important conversation that we should be having. And I feel like we're recording this during the busy season for all of us. Like, you know, after the holidays, people were getting engaged. And I feel like right about now is the time when everybody's going, maybe I need a prenup.
Yeah, I mean, December is the month that the most couples get engaged. So we've coined the phrase prenup season as really being January through probably about April or May. A lot of people plan their weddings, especially during COVID, for the summer so that they can be outside. So it's been a really exciting time here at HelloPrenup.
So your job, your mission is normalizing prenups. Can we talk about what is in your perspective, your respective backgrounds that brought you to this place? I mean, Julia, I know you're a family attorney.
Yes, so I am a family law attorney in Boston, Massachusetts. I am still a practicing lawyer, although much less. HelloPrenup has taken over, which is super exciting. And over the years, you know, I had spoken to many, many different potential prenup clients. And I would talk to them all about what they were looking for and what their, you know, some of their concerns and hangups were with prenups. So I was able to go really deep with these potential clients, and three things really stood out to me while I was talking to them. You know, number one is they would always say to me, we already know what we want in this prenup. Why do we have to hire you? Why are we hiring lawyers? And like, we've talked about it. We're on the same page. And so what stood out to me there was they really wanted a more collaborative process, which makes sense. You're getting married. Number two, I would say people would always be like, we're getting married in a month. Like, why isn't that enough time to draft a prenup? Like, we've put it off. Yeah, but we were planning a wedding. And I get it. You know, wedding planning it's a very busy time for most people. But when you hire an attorney, you really have to allow for like 3 to 6 months, because each party is probably hiring a lawyer, and those lawyers have their own schedules. They have their own cases, and things take time, right? So, you know, that was another issue that a lot of customers had. And then the third was really the cost. And this is the one that would really throw people off, is a prenuptial agreement. You know, if you look at the average across the United States, will range from about $2,500 to $5,000 on average. And so in Massachusetts, we're averaging about $5,000. And people would say, you know, forget it. I would rather put that money towards my wedding, or I'm planning a wedding and I don't have an extra $5,000 laying around. It's too bad this isn't cheaper because, you know, unfortunately now I can't get a prenup. And so I thought there has to be an easier way to do this, to solve for the, you know, issue of making the process more collaborative, more time efficient, and more cost efficient. And that's how HelloPrenup was born.
Yeah, and actually, so to jump into that story, I got into HelloPrenup and kind of the prenup space just last year, because I had gotten engaged and I started researching prenups myself. Julia and I actually live on opposite coasts. So I live out here on the West Coast in Seattle, and she lives in Boston. And so my story kind of goes, you know, I got engaged. I've always been super career oriented. I love finances and I love investing. And I've always viewed a prenuptial agreement as a way to kind of protect myself financially. You know, even when I'm getting married, I want to make sure that I'm looking out for myself and my future. And so I started researching prenups after I got engaged, and I reached out to a couple attorneys, and not only did they, you know, not really tell me the pricing of what it would cost, but it was just like a really awkward experience. And as a millennial, we don't really want to go through attorneys, and we don't want to have these, awkward conversations over the phone. We would much rather leverage technology, and that's kind of where I come in, to create a prenup that we agree with our fiance on collaboratively and much faster than using an attorney. So after I got engaged, I was actually taking time off from working. I was really burnt out. It was the middle of the pandemic. And I'd always wanted to start my own business. So when I realized that there was no good online solution for couples to create their own prenuptial agreements, I started doing research. I'm a software engineer by background, so I started trying to build the platform. Obviously, very quickly realized I'm not an attorney, and I need a legal advisor or a legal co-founder to really make this company happen. And so I found Julia at HelloPrenup last year, and we started working together, and we kind of revamped the software that Julia had been working on for the last couple of years. And, a month later, it was kind of a whirlwind of a year that we started talking to the Shark Tank producers. So that's kind of how I got into the prenup space from the tech side, and Julia came in from the legal side.
Wow, that's quite a story. And you're on opposite ends of the country. How did you guys end up getting connected?
I found HelloPrenup, and I just emailed the contact email address, and we got on a Zoom call the next day.
Oh my goodness. Wow. It's like every founder's dream.
Yeah.
We actually didn't meet in person until the day before we filmed Shark Tank, or the night before we filmed Shark Tank. So that's a funny little tidbit.
That's crazy. All right.
I'm a huge advocate for cold emails. Like, you might as well shoot your shot, because you never know what's going to happen.
It's true.
That's amazing. And Julia, I mean, kudos. That's every, I think, non-technical founder's dream when a technical co-founder falls in your lap.
Yeah, it was certainly my dream. I mean, I think, and this is kind of advice for any entrepreneur who's thinking of starting a business that is technical, as most are these days. If you're an expert in the subject area, make sure that you have someone on your team who is an expert in the technology. Because my experience was really, I was building this technology with overseas developers, and they just did not have the investment in the product or the expertise that I needed. And so I always say, Sarabeth, if only I could have found you earlier, that would be amazing. But, I think everything happens for a reason, and timing is everything. And it really did work out perfectly. And, we're thrilled to kind of both be on the same team building this product.
All right. So let's shift gears a little bit here. I want to talk about kind of the bigger issue from the point of view of being a woman. I mean, marriage, the institution, divorce, money, there's so much that's kind of wrapped up in this.
Yeah, there is so much. And I think when we think about prenups from a very traditional perspective, we look at them as being protective of the wealthier male spouse, and really keeping women from money that, they're stealing from that spouse. And that's the narrative that we're trying to reframe, because women are the ones who really lose out financially in a divorce. And this is something that I have seen myself over and over. As we know, women are the primary caretakers in the vast majority of households and in families. And whether that be taking care of their children or taking care of a sick family member, they are statistically the ones who take time off work or go part-time. But in any case, they are really giving up their career for a period of years. This is really common. And so what ends up happening is, if a divorce occurs down the road, well, although, yes, they are entitled to assets, their spouse has an earning capacity or trajectory that is just, straight rocket ship upwards, while they are now in this position where their earnings are stagnated or maybe even gone down. Maybe they can't even find a job in the area that they were educated in or had a prior career in. And so it's really harmful to women. So prenuptial agreements can solve for that. And this is what people don't really think about when they think prenups, is they're able to really contract into a marriage, more financially equitable solution. So maybe that is if the parties are married for a certain period of years and one takes time off to take care of the kids, or a family member, assets or income is allocated to them in addition to whatever would be that normal spousal support calculation, which is oftentimes, in my opinion, insufficient.
And I'm curious, like, who is your perfect customer for HelloPrenup?
We skew 51% female. We did create this product with women in mind. Sarabeth and I are both, career focused, interested in investing. And so I think if we were to outline our ideal customer, it would really be a millennial, ages 26 to 44. Again, really career focused, interested in, a financially stable, financially transparent marriage.
Okay. All right. Now, you guys alluded to it earlier, Shark Tank. Let's talk about the process of getting on Shark Tank and what it did for your business.
Yes, Sarah. It is a long but worthwhile journey to get on Shark Tank. So we can kind of go back to the timeline, I guess. So we started, the producers reached out to us, I believe on LinkedIn. Julia can confirm that, but they reached out to us in April of last year. And, when you get reached out to by the producers of one of the most successful business and entrepreneurship national television shows, you take it very seriously. So we were in the process of interviewing with them and kind of refining our pitch for months and months. We didn't find out about actually getting on the show until June of 2021. And we filmed our episode in late July. So the timeline between when we filmed our episode and when it actually aired was actually a bit longer too. So our episode didn't air until November of last year. So in that time, we've been continuously building our business up. And we probably have some great advice for entrepreneurs who go through kind of viral moments, because for us, it was a viral moment. It did help our sales during that time period where our episode went up. But we also were looking at this from a long-term strategy. And for us, long-term, it is helping our business. And we have a lot of other things going on that have leveraged the Shark Tank appearance. But it's not kind of our final event. Julia, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I would say the Shark Tank experience was so much fun. And so it's like another part-time job. It is incredibly paperwork intensive. They want to know everything, your deepest, darkest secrets. And they really, really want you to refine your pitch, which I think for us as we were only working together, remember, like a month when Shark Tank reached out to us. So we were kind of new together as business partners, and refining our pitch for the show actually really helped us kind of talk through what this business is and how we wanted to present it to the world. Because you have to remember, you're really simplifying a complicated topic in, I think the whole pitch is about a minute and a half for, the average American who's going to watch this and maybe thinks that, prenups are only for, rap songs or celebrities. And so it was a really kind of interesting, fun, really a process that took a lot of introspection, I would say.
You were the first legal tech on the show, and the producers wanted you to be wearing wedding gowns to present. Can you talk a little bit about this? It's a TV show. I understand it needs to be entertaining and all, but you're representing a serious business. I mean, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, from the perspective of the wedding dresses, Sarah Beth and I were really intentional about how we did that. We are both very serious business women. So we kind of, as you can see on the show, designed the dresses to be taken off. We walked out in a dress and a veil, for the big reveal of what we were talking about, whipped them off, and then had kind of business appropriate attire underneath so that we could talk to the sharks from the perspective of serious business owners. Sarah Beth, do you have anything to add to that? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, when you're on television, it's a very fine line between being entertaining and being taken seriously. And especially, with Lioness magazine, other female entrepreneurs can understand this, that, you want your appearance to be as professional as possible, and you don't want your appearance to take away from what you're saying to people. And so, yeah, we were very intentional about that. We kept our pitch and our presentation as high energy as possible, while also, putting in the numbers and the statistics that backed up the fact that we are building a real sustainable and profitable business. And it turned out pretty well for us.
Yeah.
And Bob, I just want to add that we were in the tank for over an hour, and only 8 minutes aired. So you can imagine how much we talked with the sharks about legal tech and about prenups. And it seemed really apparent to us that the sharks were super excited about legal tech, which is an industry that is set to triple over the next 5 years. So it's really exciting. And given that we're the first legal tech platform to be on Shark Tank, we think, the producers were really ahead of their time in looking at what the sharks might be interested in.
Interesting. So how did you prepare for the show? I mean, yes, wedding dresses and, whip them off and everything like that. But, you had to get a pitch down. What else did you do?
Yes. So Julia and I are both the kind of people that love to be extra prepared for any situation, any question that's thrown our way. So even though we were working remotely through Zoom, we had put together this 22-page prep document of questions and answers. And we found the questions, compiled based off of what are the most popular questions the sharks ask on Shark Tank, what are kind of the business specific questions that they might ask, what are some gotcha questions. So we did a lot of play acting. One of us would be the shark and one of us would be the entrepreneur. And so we would go back and forth every single day for 5 weeks, which was before, they told us our air date 5 weeks beforehand. And so we practiced our pitch every single day. We practiced our questions every single day together. And so by the time we went into the tank, we felt like we were the experts in our business, of course, and we were very prepared. So that's kind of how we went into it, feeling ready to go. Julia, do you have anything to add there?
I mean, I would just add that we also tortured our close family members by making them be sharks too. My husband was a shark and playing a shark. And I would always be saying to him, no, be Kevin, be harsh, yell at us. And it was so funny because it's like, you really just want to be prepared. And ultimately we were. I think we both went in there so prepared that there was nothing that surprised us. There was no question we didn't have an answer to. And I think that's why we walked out with such a favorable outcome, was because we were ready for anything.
Now, I don't want to, spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen that particular episode, but I will say you did pretty well. Anything you want to share with the rest of the kids?
Well, we've moved forward with our deal with both sharks. So Nirav, Tolia, and Kevin O'Leary, also known as Mr. Wonderful. And we're really, really excited to be working with them. They are both wonderful business people and wonderful mentors and wonderful partners. So we can't wait to show you what comes next.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now, knowing what you know now, Would you do it again? And would you suggest other entrepreneurs do it?
1000%. I don't think there's any better marketing platform to get your company name out there than Shark Tank. It is a lot of work, but it will always kind of be a badge of honor. And we kind of have this Shark Tank family now. It's kind of like a hazing ritual almost. There's so much work to get on the show, and then there's so much very specific experiences that you go through when you are on the show. That it's totally worthwhile. I'm a software engineer and Julia's an attorney. We're not marketing experts and we don't have a big marketing budget. So to get on a show like Shark Tank that is so valuable in terms of marketing and user outreach it's just such a great opportunity.
Nice. Okay, so if others want to go this route, any deep, dark secrets that you can share? Anything that they might not otherwise know?
I think in terms of just starting a business generally, the advice that I would give is to make sure, again, like I said before, you have the right people on your team. And sometimes the right people I don't just mean like technically the right people. I think the right people are people you get along with really well. They become friends, and you really care. You're all really invested in the business and the outcome. So that would be kind of like my number one advice to entrepreneurs. And I think ultimately when it comes to getting on Shark Tank or any type of show, the producers see that. They see how you play off each other. They see how you work together and they see that dynamic. And that's what they ultimately want to show on television. So being really authentic is key.
Gotcha. All right. So what's next for HelloPrenup?
Sarah,
well, there's a lot next coming up, but actually we could take this opportunity to share that HelloPrenup is actually going to be taking part in the Boston Marathon. So we're going to have 4 runners in the Boston Marathon, and we're going to be raising money for a really amazing women's focused organization called Savvy Ladies. It is an organization that helps women with financial literacy. So it's a very important topic close to our hearts, of course. So we're going to be raising money with them. And so check us out at the Boston Marathon, April 18th. And so that's going to be kind of our closest step for what's coming up next. Julia, is there anything else you want to share?
Bobby, I hope you'll join us. It's going to be a really fun day, really fun weekend. And yeah, we can't wait. We'll have signs and we'll be giving away really cool gifts, prizes, all of that. So I hope you'll join us. And then I think, in terms of speaking more globally, HelloPrenup is just going to keep growing. We are expanding into about 3 to 4 states a month. We're currently in 23 states. We hope to be in all 50 states by the end of the year. And we're really focused on kind of expanding our knowledge base. So making sure our customers have access to the information they need for free, whether they end up using our platform or not. The information is there, it's reliable, and it is state specific.
Wow. All right. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. And where can they find out more about HelloPrenup?
HelloPrenup.com.
Well, that was easy. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.